There is a kind of abundance that is not luck. It is buried, underground, already yours, and it only surfaces when something deeper than your personality steps into the room. Tomorrow, April 28th, at 12:39 in the afternoon Eastern Time, 16:39 Universal Time. Venus at 5 degrees and 30 minutes of Gemini will form an exact trine to Pluto at 5 degrees and 30 minutes of Aquarius. An air sign door opening across 120 degrees of the sky. And the last time this configuration could form, Pluto already settled into Aquarius, Venus moving through Gemini, the world had not yet seen the Constitution of the United States. Mary Wollstonecraft had not yet written her Vindication of the Rights of Woman. The smallpox vaccine had not yet been administered. We are talking, my friend, about the years between 1778 and 1798. 247 years ago, give or take. If you've been feeling restless in a way you cannot quite name lately, like something inside you is preparing to speak, like there is a sentence rising up in your throat with no clear addressee, you're not imagining it. The cosmos is confirming what you've already been sensing. I'm Luna Solano. I've been reading charts for 40 years, and today I'm not going to give you a lecture. I'm going to talk to you the way I'd talk to someone sitting across from me in my kitchen, hands wrapped around a warm cup, asking what is happening in the sky and what it is asking of her life right now. Because that is exactly what this Venus-Pluto trine is. Not a forecast, a conversation between something underground inside you and something the cosmos has been waiting 2 centuries to invite into the room. Let me show you what I'm seeing. The planets first, the data before the meaning. Because in this house we always start with what is verifiable. Venus at 5 degrees and 30 minutes of Gemini. The grade rounds up to 6, which puts her on what astrologers since 1925 have called the Sabian Symbol. And stay with me here, because the term is technical, but the concept is simple. A Sabian symbol is a single image given to each of the 360 degrees of the zodiac, a kind of cosmic emoji from 100 years ago, a visual metaphor that tells you the flavor of any planet at that exact spot. The Sabian symbol for Gemini 6, given to us by Marc Edmund Jones in 1925, is this: Workmen drilling for oil. Let that sit with you for a moment. Drilling for oil. The image of patient, focused, sometimes back-breaking labor, applied to ground that looks ordinary on the surface, but that contains underneath a resource so dense and concentrated that it can power entire cities. The key word Jones gave this degree is speculation, and in his positive interpretation, this is the energy of achievement through exceptional concentration or specialization of effort. Not luck, not lottery, drilling. And Pluto at 5 degrees and 30 minutes of Aquarius sits on his own Sabian symbol, Aquarius 6. The image? A performer of a mystery play. The key word, subtlety. The positive expression, in Jones's words, is a gift for dramatizing the deeper or real opportunities of a human society. A masked figure stepping into a sacred role that is bigger than the personal self. Not pretending, embodying. Now look at what these two images do when you put them next to each other. Drilling for oil meets the performer of a mystery play. What this means for your actual life is that the buried resource, the thing you have been quietly drilling for, sometimes for decades, is brought to the surface tomorrow by the part of you that is willing to step into a role bigger than your personal story. This is not theory. This is what Pluto in Aquarius is asking of all of us between now and 2044. And April 28th is the first major harmonious door inside that long, long arc. This is why I had to record this today. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The next 2 weeks are critical, and the second pass of this trine, yes, there is a second pass, arrives August 10th of this year, and what you do tomorrow seeds it. Now, the history. Because in my 40 years of chart reading, I have learned one thing about Pluto. He never does anything new. He repeats. He revisits, he returns, and he expects us to remember. The last time Pluto walked through Aquarius was from 1778 to 1798, 20 years, almost exactly the same length as the transit we are inside of right now, which began in November of 2024. And continues until 2044. Inside that previous window, the Treaty of Paris ending the American Revolution in 1783, the storming of the Bastille in 1789, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen the same year, the Haitian Revolution starting in 1791, the first successful uprising leading to the abolition of slavery in that nation. The U.S. Bill of Rights, ratified in 1791. Mary Wollstonecraft publishing A Vindication of the Rights of Woman in 1792. Eli Whitney's cotton gin in 1793. Edward Jenner's smallpox vaccine in 1796. Now look at that list. What do you see? I'll tell you what I see after 40 years of charts. Every single one of those events is a buried resource, a right, a voice, a citizenship, a scientific tool, being brought to the surface by people willing to step into roles their societies had not yet authorized. Drilling for oil, performer of a mystery play. The same exact symbolism we have on the board for tomorrow. And this is the part nobody talks about. Those people did not feel ready. Mary Wollstonecraft was 33 when she wrote that book, and she was constantly told she was being inappropriate. Mary Wollstonecraft was... Actually, let me say that again, because I want you to hear it cleanly. She was 33, working alone, surrounded by a culture that had not yet decided women had the right to even claim authorship. And she wrote it anyway. The roles surfaced. She stepped in. What your generation is being asked to integrate between now and 2044 is structurally identical. And tomorrow's Venus-Pluto trine is the moment when this big, slow civilizational invitation becomes personal, felt, embodied, in your kitchen, in your morning, in the sentence that has been rising in your throat that you have not yet said out loud. So let me give you the 3 messages I'm hearing from this sky for you right now. The first message is the personal one. I am calling it drilling for what was always yours. Venus in Gemini is curious, exploratory, light on her feet. The part of you that asks questions, makes connections, surprises herself with what she already knows. When that energy trines Pluto in Aquarius, she touches something deep, underground, already yours. What this means for your actual life is this. Words will come out of your mouth tomorrow that will surprise you. An old skill, something you used to do 20, 30, 40 years ago, will feel current again. A sentence you read in a book months ago will suddenly make physical sense, the way a key makes sense when it finally finds the right lock. If you've been feeling like you've been carrying something inside you that you have not yet given language to, you're not imagining it. The cosmos is confirming it. The hesitation you have felt about claiming what you already know, the small voice that has whispered, "Who am I to say this? Who am I to do this? Who am I to begin this at 63 or 67 or 72? That hesitation was real. It was Pluto asking if you were ready to be honest. And you are now. That is the first message. The second one surprised even me. The second message is relational. I am calling it the conversation that rewrites the contract. Gemini, the sign Venus is in, rules language, exchange, the bridges between minds. Aquarius, the sign Pluto is in, rules collective bonds, the people we are connected to not by blood, but by belonging. When Venus and Pluto trine across that exact axis, a conversation tomorrow will carry more weight than any conversation you have had this year. Not because it is dramatic, not because someone yells, because it is true. It might be a friend who calls, a sibling who sends an email, a stranger in a grocery line, someone who watched one of these videos who reaches out. And one sentence, short, clean, almost casual, will land in you like the missing piece of a puzzle you forgot you were assembling. Or it will go the other direction. You will say one sentence to someone, and you will hear yourself say it, and you will know that it is the most honest thing you have spoken out loud in years. The relationships that have been quietly disappointing you in the last 12 to 18 months were not a punishment. They were Pluto's way of keeping the channel clear so that the right voice could reach you tomorrow. What you went through wasn't random. It was purposeful. That is the second message. The third one is the one that will follow you for the rest of this decade. The third message is spiritual, civilizational. I'm calling it stepping into the mystery play. You, yes you, watching this, did not show up at this age, in this body, in this exact decade, by accident. The chart of your life was issued for a generation that came in to inhabit roles this civilization needed played. Tomorrow is the day that role starts to feel less foreign. A peculiar sense of déjà vu. An odd urge to read about the late 1700s, or to watch a documentary about a revolution. The feeling that what you decide this week matters beyond you. The feeling, and this is the part nobody talks about, that you are not just living through this era, you are living as part of how it gets written. In my 40 years of reading charts, this is one of the most distinct symptoms I see during a Pluto trine to a personal planet. People stop asking, "What is happening to me?" They start asking, "What is happening through me?" That is the gift of the air trine. That is what tomorrow opens. Now let me speak to the 3 signs for whom this trine is most direct. Even if your sun sign is not listed, check your rising sign. That's the lens through which this energy enters your specific life. If you are a Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, Venus is sitting inside your first house, your body, your face, the way the world meets you. Tomorrow your voice carries Pluto strength air. Speak the unspoken thing. Send the message you have been drafting for months. Make the introduction you have been hesitating about. Your magnetism is at a level it has not been at in years. And it is not vanity, it is alignment. If you are a Libra, sun, moon, or rising, the moon enters your sign at 5:03 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning, just hours before the trine perfects. Venus and Pluto are working through your 9th house, meaning deeper learning, distant horizons, beliefs. A book has been waiting on your shelf. A course has been sitting in your inbox. A destination has been quietly tugging at you. Say yes to the one you've been considering for months. The air trine carries you. You won't have to push. And if you are an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, Pluto is in your sign. The first house, the body, the identity, the version of yourself the world has not yet met. This is your year of years, and tomorrow is one of its hinges. Take a piece of paper, by hand, not on a screen, and write 3 sentences that begin with the words, "I am becoming." Just 3. Sleep with them under your pillow tomorrow night. You will not believe in 6 months where those sentences have already taken you. All right, so I've shown you the sky. I've traced the history. I've named the 3 messages and the 3 signs. The question I get most from the women who write to me is always the same. Luna, what do I actually do with this? Here is what I'd tell you if you were sitting across from me right now. Tomorrow, between noon and 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time, that is 1600 to 1730 Universal, set aside 15 minutes. If you cannot do it inside that window, do it any time tomorrow before the sun sets in your local sky. Find the quietest room you have. Take with you one small piece of paper, one pen, one candle, any color, though white or violet is what I would choose, one small bowl of water, and if you have one, but only if you have one piece of amethyst or fluorite. If you do not, any small stone you trust will do. We are not buying our way into this energy. We are noticing it. Light the candle. Sit. Place the bowl of water in front of you, the paper to your right. Close your eyes. Ask yourself one question, just one. What have I been quietly carrying that I have not yet given language to? And then wait. Don't force, don't reach, don't try to be a good student. Let the answer surface the way oil surfaces from underground, at its own pressure, in its own time. If nothing comes in the first 3 minutes, ask the question again, slower. The drilling in this Sabian symbol is patient. So is yours. When the answer comes, and it will come in some form, even if it is just a single word, open your eyes. Write it on the paper. 1 sentence is enough, 3 at most. Your handwriting will be imperfect. That is the point. Pluto does not work with the polished version of you. He works with the honest one. Then, and this is the moment that matters, read what you wrote out loud, exactly once, and then say these exact words. I want you to memorize them, or write them on a separate paper if you need to, because I am giving them to you on purpose. What is buried in me is not lost, it is becoming. I am ready to perform the part I came for. The cosmos confirms what I have already been sensing. Say it, once, slowly, as if you mean it. Because, and I'll be honest, when I first wrote those 4 sentences down, I had to read them twice myself, because they came out sharper than I expected. You do mean it. You have been meaning it for years. You just have not had a sky like tomorrow's to say it inside of. Fold the paper. Toward yourself, not away. We are not casting this off. We are claiming it. Place the folded paper under the candle for the rest of the day. Let it sit. After the sun sets, slip the paper into a drawer you use, a book you trust, a journal you keep. Don't throw it away. Don't burn it. This one stays with you. Because August 10th of this year, the second Venus-Pluto trine of 2026 perfects, same configuration, same air signs, same Sabian symbols. You will return to this paper that day, and what you read will tell you exactly how much has already moved. 3 things to avoid for the 48 hours after the trine, while the field is still wet. First, no major financial decisions made in haste. Venus and Pluto together can over-magnetize. The deal that looks brilliant tomorrow will still be there on Friday. Sleep on it. Second, no saying yes to anything you have not slept on at least one night. Yes is sacred during this transit. Don't spend it cheaply. And third, tell no more than one trusted person what surfaced in your 15 minutes. Over-talking dilutes the seed. The mystery play is private until the role is ready to be performed. Let me answer the questions I know you are already asking. The first question: what if I miss the exact hour? You will not miss anything. Aspects do not work like trains. The energy is wide. It begins to build 48 hours before exactness and lingers for 48 hours after. If you do this ritual any time before sunset on April 28th, you are inside the field. The second question: what if my sign was not one of the three? Check your moon and your rising. 3 out of 4 people who write to me discover that one of the 3 signs I named is somewhere in their chart, even if it is not their sun. And even if it is not, every chart on this planet is touched by an air trine, yours included. The third question: what if I do this and nothing happens? Then you have a folded piece of paper with one honest sentence on it. That is already more than most people will have at the end of this week. The work of the cosmos is slow. The work of you is sometimes slower. But on April 28th, the sky meets you halfway. The fourth question: is this going to get harder before it gets easier? No. This is one of the gentle days of 2026. The harder ones are coming, and we will talk about them together when they do. But this one is a gift. Receive it accordingly. Let me bring this back to where we started. There is a kind of abundance that is not luck. It is buried, it is underground, it is already yours. And it only surfaces when something deeper than your personality steps into the room. Tomorrow, April 28th, at 12:39 in the afternoon Eastern Time, that something steps in. And I would be doing you a disservice after 40 years of watching the sky and 40 years of watching the women who walk underneath it, if I let you sleep through it. The last time this exact air trine door opened with Pluto inside Aquarius, the United States was being drafted by hand. A woman in London was writing the first published case for the rights of women. A revolution was being born in the Caribbean. Buried things came to the surface because people were willing to perform the parts they had been quietly rehearsing all their lives. You have been quietly rehearsing all your life, too. I see you. Your voice, the one rising up in your throat with no clear addressee, has an addressee. It is the version of you that you are about to become. So, tomorrow, the candle, the paper, the question, the sentence, the 4 words you say out loud, the folded paper, the 48 hours of careful yes. And then, on August 10th, we open this letter together. Tell me in the comments, and I read every word. Which of the 3 messages landed most powerfully for you? The personal one, the relational one, or the civilizational one? Your answer guides what I record next, and the next 2 weeks ask a lot of careful pacing from this channel and from you. Until next time, keep looking up. This is Luna Solano.